Hi, good afternoon everyone. This is Sam Heaney. You can't see me, you're looking at Tracy Winstanley, the LALY's 2016 Mediator of the Year. We're speaking from our new offices in Liverpool, and we're just going to have a little chat about all things mediation, because it's an area that's fascinating to me, still a little bit of a mystery, and who better to speak to than our very own Tracy Winstanley. As I said, I haven't mentioned it already, she has won the LALY's 2016 Mediator of the Year a couple of weeks ago now, but she went off for a couple of days break with her friends and she's been mediating a lot since, so it's the first time we've been able to catch up. So, first of all, Tracy, well done and congratulations on your award. How did it feel going to the LALY's for the second year on the run, but this time coming away with the award?
Well, it was just absolutely amazing. I mean, last year was just amazing then, just being shortlisted. So to actually go and win it this year was just, unbelievable, to be honest. Just didn't expect it, and to actually go up and speak on behalf of the team, because it's a team effort. It was just something that I'll never forget, really.
Now, obviously everyone likes winning things, getting awards and praise, but this one was about mediation. So why in particular would an award about mediation be so important to you?
Well, mediation is something that I've been doing for the last few years. It started off as a small department. It's grown and grown, and it's been something that increasingly I think I've felt is suited to me, and that I've become really passionate about, and really passionate as well about spreading the word about mediation, because particularly over the last few years, as people well know, in this profession, it's something that has become more and more important really for clients, because it seems to be the only option that's available to them. So for me, just spreading the word and making sure that people out there who need to access mediation, because it's the only way forward for them, is important. So.
Okay. Now, you're a lawyer as well. For many years before you were a mediator, you were a family lawyer, and then you've become a mediator. What are the major differences between how you approach family cases before as just a lawyer and the way that you deal with that now as a mediator?
Okay. Well, as a lawyer, I've always been a resolution member. So in that respect, I've always approached things in a conciliatory way anyway. I believe that that's the best way forward to try and avoid litigation anyway. So I was always, of that mindset when I was acting for clients as a lawyer. Lawyers give legal advice, they act for one party, whereas as a mediator, you've got to be impartial. So it's important, as a mediator, that you just give them the parties legal information, and that they both know that you're there to, help them both, that you are being neutral. And I have to say that, in mediation, people are a lot more receptive to the information that you give them, because they're getting it in a neutral environment from somebody who is a professional, who has knowledge of the law, who is acting impartially, and so they do tend to take the information on board better than receiving a letter from a solicitor, which can often make them feel like they've got somebody else on their side, and it is received differently obviously from solicitors.
Okay, now a lot of people, when they hear about mediation, they're in a position where they're separating from their partner, things regarding children to resolve, and property, etc. And they get told about going to mediation, and a lot of people still think that somebody like you getting them in a room and trying to get them to reconcile or get back together as a couple and stay together as a family. Do you still encounter that view that people still see mediation as that, and if it isn't that, what is it?
To be honest, yeah, you still get people coming in thinking that you're trying to repair their relationship. In fact, I've just had one this morning that did just that. So you do still get that. I think there's less of it about now. I think more people are becoming more aware that mediation isn't counselling. It's not about relationship building, relate, that it is a different process altogether. So, you know, I think it's stressed that, you know, mediation is a process that people engage in when they are or have decided already to separate, and it's about planning the future arrangements for children, future arrangements for finances. And as I say, I think that is increasingly becoming the case, that people are aware of that. But yeah, we still get the odd occasion when people say, you know, about getting back together, and it's just obviously nothing to do with that at all.
And if any party was thinking about mediation but still didn't quite know what it was, what would you recommend that they do?
In what way, sorry?
If they were thinking about mediation but still didn't know whether it was going to be for them, whether it was going to suit the difficulties that they were facing, what would you recommend?
Well, I think I always emphasise that mediation is, you know, it can deal with children issues, it can deal with finances, but, you know, the thing is with mediation, it is a voluntary process, and I think it's important that people who engage in mediation are aware that, you know, they do have a choice. It's one of the options available. It's an option available to keep things out of court. The mandatory part of the whole process is to attend the MIAM, but they do have a choice as to whether they mediate, and I think that's important that people do understand that, because I think if you're going into a process that you know you have a choice about, rather than, you know, you having to do it, I think the mindset is completely different. And I always say to people, it is a good start if two people are willing to engage, because it does demonstrate that they want to try and sort things out. You know, it's a lot quicker process, there's less stress involved. I'm not saying it's an easy process, for a lot of people it isn't. But, you know, it can mean the outcome is, you know, a lot quicker. The outcome is also, you know, decided still by the parties. I don't decide anything for them. They make the decisions, and I emphasise that as well, so they, you know, can keep control of their future rather than putting that in the hands of a judge, which often is a big thing for people, and one of the main reasons why, you know, why they choose to try and engage and see if they can get some outcome.
Okay, and finally, you've had many years' experience being a lawyer in the traditional way of seeing parties getting divorced, going through court processes, court hearings, etc. And then you've seen the other side of parties coming to you and working through mediation and resolving matters that way. Although you can't guarantee success for everybody, if you had a choice, which do you think has the better outcomes in your experience?
Well, obviously I'd have to say, you know, going through the mediation process, you know, this way, as I say, people get to take control, and I've seen, you know, how people can, you know, start the process and how they can end it, and, you know, how quickly, you know, they can come to an agreement. And often, you know, it is surprising and often really sort of, well, a pleasure for me to see when people do come in and actually they realise that they're not too far apart, or actually want the same things. So, you know, when you get a situation like that particularly, that can be, you know, really, really good to see.
Okay, Tracy, thanks very much for speaking to us today, and we'll no doubt speak to you soon.
Okay.